talk to you today about the spiritual essence of your calling and how that is the North Star for you throughout your life in all areas of your life, and why it's so important to stay in that state where you're connected and aware of the spiritual essence of your calling. And that's because that's when you're in your most expanded, enlightened version of yourself, of your potential. Because your life purpose has a spiritual essence, which is connected to your higher self and your purpose of why you're here, what you're supposed to offer the world, how are you supposed to give of yourself in the best way possible in everything you do, in your work, in your relationships, with your children, with your friends, to the planet. And then there's endless material expression to this essence, right? The essence is something that is at the soul level, and the expression is in the material physical world and can take many different forms. It takes a different form if you're talking to a friend or to a spouse or a colleague or to a child. Now, when you're at the essence of your calling and you're connected to the essence of your calling, you are at the vibrational state of your biggest potential. And so you want to practice staying there. Now, the spiritual essence of your calling is not an occupation, not something out there, and it's not the volunteer work that you do. It's a quality. It's a quality that is at the essence of who you are. Now, that's a very different view of life purpose and calling than what we usually think about. The essence of your calling is a quality like abundance or curiosity or clarity and direction or creative expression. It's a word or two or an expression that when you discover or rediscover that expression, that quality, you light up. You can't contain the amount of energy that's in you because you're so alive at that moment. That's the state you want to be in. And so I'll give you an example. This past weekend in the town where I live in Northern California, there was this event called Art Trails, which they do every year, where around 150 artists open their studios. And you have a catalog and you can just walk into any artist's studio and just see their art and obviously buy art if you want to. And so we spent the weekend going to different studios in this art trail event. So the first studio that we went to was a studio of a Japanese potter who is living in California. And we looked, there were beautiful pieces, we kind of were looking around, and within 5 minutes or so, maybe a few more minutes, my spouse just lit up. He just lit up, he couldn't contain himself. Because I can share with you that the essence of his calling he's discovered is creative expression. That is how he's most aligned to himself, and it happens to be what he teaches other people as a consultant, how to be creative collaboratively in organizations and corporations. So here we were, we were just looking at pots, and suddenly I think he saw a pot that had a pattern of a weave, like a basket weave around it, and just the refinement, the delicacy, and he could not contain himself. That's where you want to be. That's how you want to live your life. Now, the important thing is, and that's really why it is your compass and your North Star in everything that you do. Let's say that my spouse wants to connect to material wealth, to having more money in his life, improving his finances. He can focus on abundance. He can focus on prosperity. These are two qualities that are beautiful, wonderful ones to connect to. The spiritual aspect of abundance, what does that mean to him? What does the spiritual aspect of prosperity mean to him, as well as the material aspect of abundance or prosperity? But here's the thing. He will have the best chance to increase his wealth, his financial wealth, by staying aligned with creative expression. If he starts to do it through other ways, marketing ways that he learns about, people do different things, it might not work for him. He needs to stay aligned to his highest self and work on bringing more financial wealth into his life through the essence of his calling. So, for example, he might meditate in the morning by playing the flute. That's part of his creative expression. If he skips that and he just says, okay, I'm just going to focus now on business, that's not going to work for him. He might be playing the flute, but when he's doing that in the morning for 20 minutes, he's connecting to the essence of his calling, which is creative expression. And so he has a much bigger chance to improve his life in anything, if it's his health, his relationships, his finances, anything, when he is aligned and connected to his source. That is his most healthy, vibrant, both spiritually healthy, emotionally healthy, physically, mentally vibrant and healthy state of mind. So it's a really important point, because we all go to retreats and try to find inner peace and abundance and bliss and different qualities, which are all wonderful, and we should all focus on all of them, yes. But your best chance to tap into your most enlightened self and then create wellness, spiritual, material, physical, emotional, communal, planetary wellness through you is when you tap into the essence of your calling, that quality that is an aspect of the essence of who you are. So I'll give you an example. Again, with my spouse, I'm using him today in this video. There was a time a few years back where he plays the saxophone, and he had seen on some forum a saxophone for sale. And it was a special saxophone. I don't understand anything about saxophones, so I cannot tell you more details, but it was desirable and he wanted it. And he needed a certain amount of money for it. And he said, okay, I really want to get this saxophone. I am going to get this and this client to hire me. The saxophone was actually in a different country, and the client had an office there. I want them to send me there, and when I'm there with this client, that's when I'm going to get the saxophone. Now, I want you to see along the way, so this would be like the law of attraction, right? Manifesting. The saxophone is part of his creative expression, so the essence of who he is. The client that he worked with, as he teaches creative collaboration in teams, he was going to teach them and work with them as a consultant on creative expression. And he found a creative way to acquire what he wanted, the saxophone. So he did it all through the essence of his calling, creative expression. And I believe that that is why it worked for him. Not just because he applied the law of attraction. He applied the law of attraction through the vibration, or through the tone or note, or the doorway, the gateway that is unique to him. And if he will try to do it through another gateway, somebody else's gateway, somebody else's quality, somebody else tells you this is how you should manifest, this is the law of attraction, just do this and it's going to work for you. It might work, but because you're doing something that's connected to the essence of your calling. But if it doesn't work, one of the reasons can be that you're not coming from the essence of who you are. So think about this. This is really useful, because when we go on retreats and we have inner peace or bliss or tranquility, then we come home and slowly within a few days or a week or max 2 weeks, all of that's gone. and we're back to kind of daily life and to-do lists, and we're stressed again, we can't manifest our full potential that way. So we have to go to a retreat again to experience some more inner peace, some more tranquility. Well, if the essence of your calling is peace and tranquility, then that's wonderful. But you want to bring tranquility and peace into your life if it's at the essence of who you are. Again, we can tap into all qualities, and we should. They create the diversity of the human experience. And so it's wonderful to tap into any quality that you want to and practice it. But the most potent quality is going to be the essence of who you are. And so whatever you want to improve in your life, do it from the essence of your calling, using that quality. And things will start to open up and align and heal and become more whole and work better for you in your favor, because you are in alignment to the essence of who you are. And you don't need to worry all the time that, oh, I lost it, because it's at the essence of who you are. So you just need to practice tapping into the essence of who you are. And just like the story of my spouse who was at the ceramics place and could not contain himself of excitement, you want to tap into that place. So my question is, what is the spiritual essence of your calling? What is it, the essence of who you are? This one word, two words, an expression that describes the essence of who you are, what makes you come alive and makes you feel whole and fulfilled. Write a comment below. I'd love to hear from you, and blessings.